Ready, Garrett?
Yep.
All right. Tooele?
Well, let's start with we're at Tooele,
Yeah.
and the wind blew on Saturday,
Yeah, it wasn't
but
bad.
Friday was good. You
great.
guys missed out by skipping practice.
I stopped by.
You did.
I stopped by and talked to some people, picked some stuff up. It was beautiful weather, no wind.
Well, and how about the fact that we showed up here Tuesday, thought we had 3 or 4 days worth of work ahead of us, ripped it Tuesday night and went, wow, we got a dirt bike track. So we ran practice Wednesday night, right? Gave the locals, some people that are close by, a place to ride. Probably had 70, 80 bikes show up, had good weather, good track conditions. Re-prepped it on Thursday. Wednesday night practice just made it better, right? We just worked some more moisture into it. Had practice on Friday, good weather. Saturday, but Sunday, really good. Overcast.
awesome today.
Like, I think that's as good as Tooele. Like, it was good.
I think it was as good of a weekend as you could possibly have at Tooele, because even when the wind was blowing hard on Saturday, it was still overcast. Sun and wind is what kills the track. You can't do anything to this dirt once that, it takes 2 minutes for the sun and the wind to bake it, and then you can't hardly touch it with water. I thought that the track stayed pretty much better than it ever has, both days. I really thought so.
And we didn't do a post-race show last year about this, so I think it's time to give props to Chris Papworth, right? Like, there was however many yards of sand delivered last year for the Tooele race that benefited the regional. We had a lot of rain, so I don't think people realized how much this soil got amended. Thank you to Chris Papworth for lining that out. And a lot of sand went into it last year, and I think it paid off with the conditions that we just had. Tooele was good. Like, I feel bad saying it that way, like, oh, it's as good as Tooele can be, but it's had a bad rap, right? But the chunky dirt clods, there was no dirt clods out there.
No.
Like, it was good. There wasn't anything like super hard pack. Like,
Even when the ruts fell in on themselves, it wasn't bad. You
They
could
were
ride
still
right
soft,
through.
yeah.
It was super soft.
Yeah, I thought the track was soft all weekend. I thought it was great. I had a blast.
It was really fun.
as a whole, like, our crew was really good. We mixed up staging and sent them down by the highway and back because the interchange has been a problem in the past. The interchange worked. Megan Horner and staging made this show work.
Super
Right.
fast, no lines, no pileups.
No,
Really quick.
no, like.
No Pee-wee track, right?
Yeah, she shut down the Pee-wee track. She helped us with dust control. She got people organized. The motos went smooth. Like, if you don't know who we're talking about in staging in the next race, make sure you say thank you to that young lady because she killed it. She does a good job. Employee of the month. We do by the race because we do multiple races in a month. So yeah, but she's kind of been employee of the race since like Mesquite. So it's kind of, we're trying to figure out how to do this plaque because it's just the Megan Horner show. Yeah. And I'm not just saying that because her dad's sitting here. Like, Megan is top notch. She is top notch. But it was the whole crew. Jackson Royals running the start gate. He is killing it. Iker's on the finish line. Gunnar Townsend's out there with Jamie Boots, killing it. So just all those little things, like, we kind of brush over them a lot, but we have some of the best crew in moto. Love it. These guys are amazing. The racing was good. You got results. Chase, you're up.
All right. Schoolboy 2. We got Casey Clinton going 1-1. Jesse James went 4-2. Gage Sager 3-3. Hayden Morgan 2-4.
That's the crew. Like, I mean, it's just week after week, right? Casey's right there. Hayden's right there. Jesse, he's young, isn't he?
I don't know how old Jesse is, but I know he's making big improvements this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still in the C class, and he's been steadily figuring out the 250F and climbing up the results. So
You got
Yeah.
Connor Lords went 5'11", so he was in there.
Connor is a damn good dirt bike
yeah,
rider.
he's got to be younger than the rest of them too.
I think Connor's one of the youngest.
And
He's
he's
on the
125.
Yep. Just he's young, right? So tip overs happen.
Yeah.
Just things happen. But as far as dirt bike skill, he's right there at the top of that. Like, if everyone just put in their best lap, I'll bet Connor's as fast as anyone in that age group.
Close,
He
yeah.
just has some inconsistency, but I'm pretty sure he's 13, 14, age group wise, and he's young, and things happen, but Connor's a really good dirtbag rider.
Did you guys see Connor Lord's starts?
No.
He pulled some whole shots on the 125
Really?
against those other guys. So I'm not sure which motos he whole shotted, but he whole shotted several motos. And Casey Clinton, I don't know if you looked at his times, but he bested Cameron's times several times, which means that he was with you
Okay.
for times.
Wow. Okay.
So Casey Clinton went really fast this weekend. He obviously won that class, and maybe that with DZ, but he rode really good this weekend too. The inconsistencies on the concrete is what hurt him.
Okay.
I think if he could have got whole shots, you would have maybe seen some different results in the other classes, but he rode good.
The concrete threw a mix in everyone's.
Yeah.
Like we've had grates, we've been moving them around to concrete. We left the grates in Mesquite. We've been on dirt. This is the first time we've seen concrete in RMX in a year and a half.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a lot of things that happened off of that pad that were unique. No loop outs. No loop out. It's hard to loop out on concrete. But there was a lot of, some people got starts that couldn't get starts before. Like we saw a different technique, and it was fun. It was good to see. But that group of amateurs is right there. That group of Schoolboy 2 amateurs is solid dirt bike riders. What you got, Chase?
Amateur all-stars, we got Cam Horner going 1-1, Casey Clinton keeping him honest going 2-2, Jesse James with a 4-3, Hayden Morgan with a 3-4.
Yeah, it's the same kids.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just right there. Trazen Robinson, what happened?
Knee. I know he was having some knee problems at the qualifier at Delta, so I'll have to make a phone call and find out. But I think he must be letting that thing heal. So
Yeah, that just clicked to me when you gave me that list of kids. We're missing Trazen because you like we talked after Kuna, Cam's the kid to beat, right? Something's got to go wrong right now, and I don't want to put that bullseye on his back. I keep saying that, but
it's not a runaway because, like Joe said, KC was faster than him this weekend. Couldn't get a start, so he couldn't get it done. But I didn't see the times, but I watched the motos. I watched KC reel him in for a few laps in a row.
And I think that in the end, Cam, he might have had the best eventually, but the in-between laps, Casey was able to lay down fast laps at the beginning and was good in the sweeper in the back. There's something back there that's tough, and he does good at that. And he pushed and he didn't go down. And so even though at the end he didn't, he wasn't able to make it stick, he definitely put a run on him, and he did keep Cam honest. And even if 4 of his laps were faster than Cam's, for Cam to have the speed that he had this weekend and finally match you, that was our goal, straight up. That was the goal when we came here, is to have Cam be able to match your lap times. So that's what he's trying to do. That's what we're trying to do.
And if you look at this, like we talk regional motocross championship, Montana, Bozeman, Montana, Twin Falls, Idaho, Milford, Utah, West Jordan, Utah, Boise, Idaho, St. George, Utah, Henderson, Nevada. From Henderson, Nevada to Bozeman, Montana, and everywhere in between, open amateur. The amateur all-star class is represented. I mean, what are we talking from Henderson to Bozeman? Like 1,000 miles? I mean, it's a long damn ways. Like this is where it's at. Like it's cool. Like speed's here. There's competition here. If you're not driving here, you should be driving here, because that is cool to see that group.
Well, and the fact that your amateur all-star class is running pro class times.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that, I'm sure, at some point with what Coy did today. But up until that, the amateur all-stars, to have your amateur class in with your pro class on lap times.
Yeah, and it's, not only is the speed there, but the fact that we're, on Sunday they got 10-minute moto or 10-lap motos. They did 2 10-lap motos. Like that doesn't happen a lot. So they're getting lap times, and it's working out. Yeah, I like it. What you got, Chase?
Super Mini 1 through 16. Jace Allred 1-1. Crew Ketton 2-2. Cohen Jackman 3-3, Trinity Bachelor 4-4, Parker Miller 5-5. So
It's the same kids.
Yep.
I mean, we keep seeing them week in, week out. When we did the first show after Mesquite, we basically said we're going to see the same group of kids all year in a different order. Like other than Jace, right? We're going to see the same kids every weekend in a different order. You know, you can add to that list. The Parker Millers will be there off and on. The Gray Townsends will be there off and on. Dan and Reed wasn't here this weekend, but he'll be there off and on. You know who they are, but it's crazy that there's that much speed in that 85 Super Mini class. I mean, Jace Allred is clearly.
Yeah, he's the one that, I mean, you're not gonna beat him right now, really. You're just not. Like we talked with Cam and KC, like Cam's kind of the guy right now, but KC's right there. Like just where Jace is right now, you're not gonna beat him. But it's interesting to see Cohen, get ahead of Trin. I mean, I know they're really, really close, but so that was kind of a shake-up there. So.
Every dad talked about line choice. That's what that's what everybody got in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? Every kid got in trouble this weekend for picking a bad line.
Yep.
You should have known. Didn't you see him gaining on you? You know, it was a racetrack, right? You could go outside, you could go inside, you could go middle.
Yeah.
And
the name of the game to me, and because I told one of the kids that I was helping this is it was all about keeping the rear tire on the ground, because the bumps were pretty small, but this dirt is clay and it's not very forgiving, and so everything you hit wanted to take your rear tire off the ground. And so if you had the suspension setting for it, great, you could get it to stick to the ground. If not, people tend to go to the edges of the track, inside or outside, and then it's just choppy. You go outside and it's great, but then there's a big hole at the end or something, and it would kick someone's rear tire off the ground, and keeping the tire on the ground is how you move forward. So finding those middle lines that were a little bit squishy still, because not a whole lot of people were going to them. That's what I found was working for myself, and then watching people. It was just staying away from those holes.
Yeah, it's choppy. Yeah.
we got 250C 12 to 15 novice. Jesse James 1-2, Christian Stapp 2-3, Braden Davis 4-4, Decker Cower 7-5, Dayton Stott 6-6, 5th overall. And then even further down, you got Bryson Batt with a 3-9 for 7th, Braxton Morgan with a 12-1 for 8th overall.
C-class racing.
It's crazy.
There's a lot going on there. Brax had the 12-1. I'm sure the 12 was, he had some electrical issues, I believe, before the face of the big jump, which luckily it was before the face and not after the face. But I don't know the details there, other than I just heard Gunner come across the radio and say that there was some wiring issues. So who knows what Gunner was talking about for sure, but that's what he said. But that is the C-class. Like, that's your next group of amateur all-stars. Like, Jesse's already knocking on the door of the front of that, and you look at that list. The young man, last name Sapp, Boise, Idaho. I feel like he found us through going up to Kuna, and now all of a sudden, it's round 2 of the North, and we got a young man from Boise and Tooele or Urda, Utah, and the speed's coming. That novice class, it's doing what it's supposed to do. We have 12 to 15 and 16 plus. We're not just putting a 15-year-old on a 250F with a 25-year-old. Like, we do break it up by age group, and it's allowing these younger kids to develop and go fast. And there's a good group coming right there that you just rattled off.
And you got 2 125s mixed in with those that you mentioned, right? Because you got Braxton and you got Stott, are both on 125s.
And Gale, Deegan, Gale,
too.
Stott, and Brax Morgan are all on
So you got
125s.
3 of those. So, I guess that shows that you don't have to have a 4-stroke to be competitive. Those dads that want to do that can do that, and it's working good for them too.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great way to go. Yeah, I think it is, and especially the fact that Brax is getting moto wins on a 125.
We got 65 open, Camden Iker 2-1, Sawyer Geek 1-2, Cash Bollinger 3-3, Nixon Greenhall 4-4, Traxton Phillips 5-6, 5 overall.
When you talk about concrete starts, Cash Bollinger must love him, because I think he ripped every hole shot.
Okay.
Like I was watching starts, like I was happy for Cash. You know, he's trying, he's working hard, and he ripped starts off of the concrete. So he rode really well. Camden, you're just happy that after the big crash at Kuna, that he's healthy, he's strong, and he's back with a 2-1 in the overall. So I think that's cool for Camden.
Nixon rode really good too. He's not typically a top 5 kid. He can be. He's fully capable of it. He's usually a little bit too timid, you know, or whatever's going on there to get in the top 5. So he rode really good this weekend. I noticed a few motos of his.
Well, Nixon, it wasn't until like last fall that the whole Greenhall family realized that we're here to go fast. Because Colton thought we were just here for the after parties, the friendships, the camping. Because there was just a huge misunderstanding from the Greenhall camp. Like Colton was just here for a good time, and apparently when he realized that we were here to go fast, now it's clicking. So Colton knows what we're talking about. This will help out the entire Greenhall family, because there was some mass confusion. Like they thought that they were just here for the experience. But
Well, now one of them is here to go fast. We'll see. This is one weekend, so we'll see. But the other one is not here to go fast. There's a lot of other stuff going on there.
oh, Izzy's here for the experience.
I don't know what Izzy's here for. I don't know what she knows.
Izzy's here for the experience. Nixon is a heck of a dirt bike rider, and it's gonna click one day, and I think it's starting to click, and you saw it this weekend, and that is cool. So I like giving them a hard time, because, I mean, the Greenhall family has been around racing longer than we have. I mean, from our first dirt bike race, Colton was there racing.
Yeah.
So the Greenhalls are fun to have around, and it's cool to see Nixon improving and rode well. But there was 30-something 65s out there. So to have a 5th place in that group, you're doing something.
Is that Trax's best finish?
Who Trax is, you just don't know.
What was his result again?
5th or 6th?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gotta be.
What's his both motos?
Trax Phillips 5.6.
So that's I don't know if it's his best result. It's probably close, but it's definitely the most consistent he's ever been.
Maybe the
It's his
best
best
Yeah,
overall.
yeah,
It's his best overall.
I think Trax has had like a 2 and a 25.
Yeah.
But to have a 5.6, like,
In-
that's
in the-
impressive.
In the open, huh?
Trax,
Yeah, not a 2. Yeah.
I don't think he's ever gone
No,
that
this
far,
made
that
it-
far forward in the open.
This may have been
In
the
his age,
weekend
but,
for him.
yeah.
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 Consistency
And
and
on a track that is difficult to be consistent
yeah.
on because of the ruts. So that's,
yeah, that is cool to
Yeah.
see.
But he's good at standing up and riding with his legs. Like for being that young, he's really good at that. So choppy, just stand through it.
That's always good when you see little guys standing that much.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the biggest barrier for them.
And then Chase, to put it in perspective, he's 7.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, he's
On a
7.
65.
Yeah, he's 7. So that's why like a 3 and a 29 is not abnormal, right? Like,
Right.
but so to have 5.5, 6.5, that's pretty cool for Trax. That's impressive.
We got plus 20 amateur BC, awesome class that you guys put on here at RMX. Parker Sampson went 2-1 for the overall. Mason Bangeter went 1-2. Sam Anderson 3-3. Tucker Haywood 4-5. Mason McKelson 6-4.
The whole plus 20 class was from a conversation with a couple of different guys. One with Pud, Brandon Susie. We had the discussion about this, and then Tommy Letchenberg. And the thing that you run into is guys ride at a high level, but then they work full time, and they're 22, 23. Where do they ride? They used to ride the pro class, right? So they're supposed to come back and
Skip work.
and ride 450 Pro and Open Pro. So they just wait until they turn 25 to race their dirt bike again, because then they have the 25 AB stuff. So we created plus 20 Open 3 or 4 years ago, and it's been hit. It gives guys, it's the working man's class. Like Tommy feels like you should have to, Pud feels like you should have to show a 40-hour work week, like on your paycheck. If you don't have a full 40 hours, you don't get to ride the class. Like, it is the working man's class.
And it's one of the funner ones that I do, and Sam does as well. It's super fun.
There's
Just
good battles in that
and
class
yeah, it's
too.
always
Yeah.
battles in there. And
Yeah,
it's
because
fun.
like this year, when you and Pud get going up front, like you guys battle really hard, and then Parker and Moose go at it hard sometimes, like really hard.
And let's clarify, like you're looking at Sunday's results. This says +20 amateur BC. On Saturday, we just have +20 open.
And everyone can come in.
Yeah,
That's
and there's
awesome.
a reason for that. We have +20 open on Saturday, so anyone can come out and have a good time. A rider, B rider, C rider, we don't care. On Sunday, we're trying to create an even higher level of competition. So if you're an A rider, you got Open Pro, and that's it. There's no taking trophies from a BC class. You have Open Pro, right? So it's cool. It's still +20, but we got rid of the A riders, and it's BC. So there's two different things going on, and there's some logic behind it. We want everyone with pro status on the line together on Sunday, but on Saturday we want just the +20 open, and it's cool because it gave Parker Sampson is battling for 3rd and 4th on Saturday, maybe 5th, and he's battling for moto wins on Sunday. So
Yeah.
the class is doing what it's supposed to do. Like it's getting guys on the track together of equal speed, having a good time. So yeah, I'm pumped on it. And I'm pumped for Parker.
God, what a great kid, huh?
Oh my
Awesome guy.
gosh.
Freaking
And his
awesome.
parents were here this weekend.
Yeah,
Like, did you get to see him?
yeah, I talked to him.
Oh man, like for those that don't know, like 10 years ago, like the last time the Sampsons raced as a family was 2012. I asked Justin about that.
That's crazy.
And so like we just thought the Sampsons were the coolest thing ever. Like
Back
like,
then?
the whole crew. Oh man, I still think Justin Sampson's the coolest thing ever. So to have Parker coming out to the races and mom and dad coming out and checking them, it was just fun. Like it brought back some cool memories. Because Justin, Shea Betancourt, Youngblood, Roland, that crew was just fun at the races for years, and we haven't seen them for a long time. Now Parker's out, now mom and dad are back. Mom's taking pictures. It was awesome.
Yeah.
She's still a moto mom. It was fun.
Justin said he got a new bike, and he's gonna do some more races, so he's ready to ride.
Watch out. +40 expert class. Justin Sampson will get in shape and watch out. He is fun. He's a good time.
We got Open Pro, McCoy Bruff, 1-1, Gray Davenport, 3-2, Riley Bruff, 2-3, Boston Boots, 4-4, Kyler Braybeck, 5-5.
I want to start with Kyler. How cool is that?
I heard that he went from 14th to 5th in the first moto.
I'm pretty sure, I think he went off the track, over the
Really?
berm,
Yeah.
right after that
He-
small double
yeah.
left. I'm pretty sure I saw him out of the corner of the eye go.
Yeah. He rode really, really good.
But think about Kyler 5 years ago in the intermediate class. He just quietly came from a mid-pack kid to winning motos, right? Then he quietly started running up front in the pro class, and then he's been working full time and randomly riding his dirt bike, fighting fires in the summer. We don't get to see him a bunch. I feel like he's only been going hard now for about 10 weeks,
I think so.
maybe 3 months at the
I mean,
most.
He was in Mesquite most weekends, whether it was a practice or a race, but that was pretty much it. Just weekend warrior status. Yeah, he was impressive this weekend.
He's quietly creeping his way to the top. Like Braybeck is, and having Bill and Kathy at the races, that was another fun moto family. Like having that group around, they're good people. So I know that I'm like brushing over, the top 5 and going straight to Kyler, but I feel like he deserves it. He's worked hard.
Gavin caught him and passed him, and then Gavin had a bobble, and Kyler caught back up and passed him for 5th. So
Okay.
to to have the second moto and be able to to get back instead of just giving up or coasting around, because he had a pretty good cushion there. But instead, he saw what Gavin was doing, picked up on Gavin's lines, and then used it to capitalize on it, and then used it to beat Gavin in the end. So he did have a good weekend.
It's a good
He
race.
did ride good.
Crafty veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dirt bike rider. I like watching him ride a dirt bike. But yeah, the rest of the pro class was, you expect to see certain kids up front, but Braybeck, that was cool. So, I think Coy got both hole shots, so.
Yeah, he struggled yesterday. He struggled pretty hard yesterday, and today he figured it out and was gone both motos. So
That started with time qualifying today. Right?
Yes.
He was
on it today.
multiple seconds ahead right off the bat, and he was light in the ruts, and he was on it.
Yeah, when
And
Coy's on, he's on, and you're not. He's just.
Yeah.
It's hard to
good.
beat.
But it's gonna be Sundays all year long, cause he doesn't
He
ride
rides
dirt.
once a month,
Yeah,
yes. He's
so-
spent Saturday figuring his life out, and then he figures it out Sunday. That's pretty much what happens.
So yeah, so it was a good group, and Greg, 37 years old, it's impressive. He rode time qualifying, and we put 30A is Moto 1 because I didn't expect that to also be open. Anyways, Gray ran time qualifying, came back, took a splash of water, and went out and won 30A.
Because maybe if that changed, you'd have Kip, Posey, and then you'd have Gray. Maybe there's both guys that could do that, so maybe there's a way to work around that a little bit. Like you said, make sure that all the pros, whether they're old pros or young pros, have a chance to be on the gated ones. Ultimately, that's what Amateur All-Star or Open Am was about, 5 years ago, right? It was a chance to be on the track with young, old, indifferent, right? Lots of skill levels, and it did make for some fun because there was always someone to race with. And I think you take someone like Kip Posey that maybe doesn't have competition when he races, right? And set it up so that it encourages him to do that, because I'd like to see him out there too. Probably
So you heard it here, Posey is getting moved to Open Pro at Rupert.
There you go.
Sorry, Kip.
It's done.
We'll talk about it at family dinner.
Handle that at sign up. Did you guys watch Boston Boots? Riley, did you see Boston Boots today on the track?
Vaguely.
Did you get a chance to
Vaguely saw him,
be around him, or see
Yeah.
just for a
Here
few
and
moments?
there, yeah.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Boston rides good. He gets starts on a 250F. I don't know how he does it, but he has his starts
I know how.
figured
Do you
out.
want me to tell you how?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so he holds it on the rev limiter, sits in the middle of the bike,
Okay.
and just lets it bounce, and when the gate drops, he just goes. It's that simple. I watched it over and over and over again. And so how many tear-offs did you use today when you were watching Boston? Because you had a really, really close,
Quite a few.
quite a few.
Quite a few tear-offs, yeah.
I mean, it looked like you were
Yep.
eating some serious fruit off
Yes.
that 250 for
I was.
what, 2 laps? So where did you pass him?
Today, I passed him. He's being on a 250F. He would have to go wide to triple into the rollers.
Oh, okay.
And I had, this track is as ruddy as it was and as choppy as it was, like we talked about before. You get like the track, you get a momentum going, you get flowing, and I got flowing and I caught up to him, and then I was able to go inside and triple
You
right
take
there.
the third rut out before in the rollers?
He would take the third one out. I'd go far in. Far
Oh, you were
inside.
able, you tripled from the very inside, and he was tripling from the third one out.
Yep.
So he didn't have to actually go outside.
No, so he wasn't going outside, so I went inside and passed him right there, and then that was that one. I don't remember.
So
other
you
ones.
just seat bounced from the inside like Sam Anderson, just
Yeah.
sent it. Good. Okay. All right. I wondered because I didn't see it,
Yeah.
and I just saw you eating roost.
But no, Boston is he gets really good starts on the 250F, and then he's got really good first 3 laps. He goes really fast. We saw it in time qualifying. He was good in time qualifying. He can drop the hammer and go really fast.
I think his
So-
consistency was better this
Yeah.
weekend. I think than what we've seen before. I don't know if he's getting in better shape, if he's eating more food. I don't know what he's doing, but he rode good. I mean, I think the 4.4 makes it look like he was maybe just in 4th the whole time or right ahead of Kyler. But I think if you watch those motos, you saw him closer to the front.
In the first moto, now that I'm thinking about it, because my pass was the second moto. The first moto, me and Coy started 1-2, then Boston, then Gray, and he held off Gray till like 2 laps to go. So he ran third almost that entire first
Yeah,
moto.
I think Gray burned up tear-offs behind him,
Yeah.
just like he did.
Yep.
So I think even though it says 4th, I think that's a little misleading.
He rode good.
He did. Yeah, I think he had a good weekend.
So,
Who's this?
You can move on, Chase.
All right.
Yeah, like we could discuss
It's-
pro racing over
It's
here.
it's the best. It's the best racing on the track. It is. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's the.
It is.
It's the pinnacle of the sport, and it was this weekend.
Yeah,
Right?
it was good racing.
It
this
was the
weekend.
best racing.
And let's,
track.
we're gonna get to Rupert in 2 weeks, and we're gonna pick up the burgers. We're gonna pick up Koba. We're gonna get, possibly. We're gonna get some of the Boise crowd, and all of a sudden, it's just gonna get better.
It's going to get bigger.
Yep.
So who's this? Back Damon Back. Who's that guy? I've never seen that guy before.
Damon's been around a long time. I mean, Damon has his AMA Pro card. He's raced some Supercross stuff. Damon was at a lot of our races for a series of time, and then, work gets in the way, right? So he's a full-time kid. He works full-time, works hard, pays for his own bikes, and comes out and races when it's close and fun. I really think that's, Damon's program right now is he's having fun. And if it looks like a fun dirt bike race, he's there. And if not, he's not. And, but he goes well. He's typically a really good starter.
Yeah, he did.
Typically.
When I saw, because he wasn't here yesterday, when I saw him here today, I figured he had both hole shots pretty much in the bag, and he didn't get good starts today at all, so
It's a conquer.
maybe.
And so I think it proves your 2-day format works, right? So there's a guy who, for whatever reason, couldn't make it yesterday. And then I think we had a 25A rider on a Yamaha yesterday that I didn't recognize.
Gage DeMars.
DeMars,
sorry,
sorry.
no. In 25, he was in 450.
Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah,
why. So
yeah.
I guess there's a chance for a guy who just juggle his schedule, get to come and ride the pro class. So I think that works, right? That proves that there's value in having 2 days of pro racing here because you had a little different feel.
Yep.
Between
Both
the two.
days were different. We had
Yep.
Gage DeMars on Saturday who led some laps. And we had Damon back, the Carmody boys, here on a Sunday. So, the regulars are here both days. And yeah, 2 days of racing definitely mixes up some things and makes the pro class even more interesting along with a few others. Straight from pros to 50s, Chase.
Alright, maybe I'll mix it up.
Oh, okay. To super minis?
Is that better?
No, I was gonna go straight from pros. You had the 50s. Like I was teed up and ready to go.
Let's go, Gary.
Changed.
Sawyer Geek, my apologies, 1-1. Ryder Morgan, 2-2. Rhett Stott, 3-3. Chance Sharon, 5-4. Hudson Bud, 4-5. And then even Nico Chavez, 6-6. So super consistent.
It's just the same kids. Like Sawyer's the kid to beat, right?
Yep.
I mean, Sawyer's the kid to beat, but after that, it gets pretty interesting. Rai, we talked about him hucking the big jump at Delta. Like, he's coming.
He is coming.
Rai, I don't know how they're going to keep a Cobra 50 together for Rai.
Did he try the table? Did he try
I thought he should have. If he was doing the jump at Delta, he should have tried
think
this
the
one.
Rai
Delta's
tries
more
everything.
intimidating.
Like, I don't even think he knows he's trying.
I think he would have made this one. I don't think he ever tried it, because if he can jump the before the finish line at Delta, if he can clear that, he could go outside and jump this big table.
Yeah, and this one you could practice by cutting off the track and
Yeah.
jumping on and practice to where you could get a little bigger run at it. So,
Let's get some frame gusseting going first.
Right.
Like, yeah, if we can get some gusseting on a couple of those welds, then let's keep hucking the big stuff. Otherwise, let's back her off. Like, let's just,
Crazy.
like,
Yeah.
parts are hard to come by, frames are probably harder to come by, qualifiers are coming up. Let's just back her down just a little bit, right? Just back her down a little bit. But no, look at that group. Geek, Morgan, Stott, Sharon, Bud, Chavez, Stevenson, Rao, like Oliver, Fowler. I mean, those kids are going fast. I mean, that is cool. There's 3 kids right there that have been to Loretta's already. 4, actually. 4 of those kids have raced at Loretta's. I mean, that's cool. That's regional motocross championship stuff.
do you have Loretta's racers in every class? Have you ever looked at that? Do you literally have a Loretta's repeat, or whatever you want to call it, someone that's been there, a veteran in every one? That'd be interesting. We'll have to take a look at that. I'll bet.
But it's close.
I'll bet
I
you.
mean, other than 4 to 6, because that's your first year, right? Probably.
Yeah, sure.
Probably. I mean, we could use some help in some of the vet classes and the plus 40, but yeah, I think so.
It's thin.
It's thin. It's thin. Kip's just having to carry that by himself.
Carry the torch. Some people got other stuff they gotta do. And I don't mean that against Kip, because he's got other stuff to do too. He's just good.
No, Joe, I think you're right. I mean, I know, like, even if you start thinking about some of the random classes, I mean, in the women's class, I mean, heck yeah, Sophia, Taylor, year after year, right? In the girls' class, you got Destiny Burgess, Jackman, obviously the 80s, for sure, the 50s, the 60s. And then you get into the vet classes, and yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got Aaron Tilton out there in the plus 50 class. You got Brad Gardner.
They've been aware.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
so did
every
you,
class.
Did you see, right, so eighth place here was Jet Rao, 7-10, right? So you talk about women's and all that stuff, right? So the Rao family, so Tressa rode really good this weekend. She had good starts.
Yes.
She put it to some of the old guys a few
Yes.
times, and I followed her around the track myself plenty of times. Like, she rides good. She had good starts. The whole thing was good. She landed on Abe Mingo or vice versa this weekend, and Abe got his shoulder all burned, his jersey burnt from her pipe, and so she's in there, and then they got Jet in 8th, right? So I think they're gonna try to go to Loretta's. So I don't know if the whole family.
Well, Justin and Tressa were on the line at the same time.
They're both
Yeah,
in plus
yeah,
40.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Justin was in 40 expert, she was in 40 amateur, and I was watching live timing, and she was leading. I don't know how it finished. I don't know what the results are, but she was leading 40 amateur on Sunday for the first 2 or 3 laps. It was cool, and she ripped a start because it was 1 gate drop.
Yeah, she's got that concrete figured out.
That's a really nice family.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're
it is.
good people, and I could see all 3 of them qualifying for Loretta's, and I wonder in the history of Loretta's if mom, dad, and rider has ever happened.
That
Ever.
would be cool.
I mean, you see plenty of dads and sons, moms and sons, but I've never mom, dad, and a 50 rider. If that happens, there's your video.
Right. And Justin had a
Red
really bad
Creative Media. There's your video. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be a cool video.
And it might not be this year. Justin had a really bad wreck at the Arizona Open, and so he's still slowly coming back from that. But he certainly had speed to win. You know, what you're maybe not the 35A type class, but the rest of those vet classes. You know, he's pretty fast, and so he's slowly coming back from that. So I think maybe if it's not this year, maybe next year, because Jet's going to have lots of chances to go to the Reds.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Super mini.
Super mini. We got Everett Clark again, 2-1 for the overall. Grayson Townsend, 1-3 for second. Cohen Jackman, 3-2. Trinity Bachelor, 4-4. Henry Milliken, 5-5.
There's a name that, like, Henry's had a little bit of a rough spring, but he had a big crash here a year ago. Broke his leg, was off his dirt bike for 6 months or so. Started working hard all winter long. That's cool. Right there, that shows that hard work pays off. Because we've talked about that group of kids a lot all year, but Henry's name hasn't been in the mix. And to see Henry in the mix, top 5, super mini, that makes me excited. That shows that hard work pays off because he's at every practice. He's trying. That's a good group of kids, and that's really cool for Henry.
He wasn't here yesterday.
No,
I don't think.
Supercross. So they birthday.
Okay, so there's another one of those deals, I guess, gave him a chance to ride today. I think that's great that we had two days to race. And it was all, just like I said before, it was just line choice, line choice, line choice.
Yeah.
That's what all the conversations were about with those dads, man.
How many kids are on that list?
Good gosh.
We're into the 30s, 31.
Probably about 33.
Yeah, 30 some odd kids in super mini on a Sunday, and you look at that list of top 5. There's some dirt bike riders. So, and I know we're just glazing over it because we talk about them time and time again, but Everett Clark out front, Gray out front, Trini's up there, Cohen's up there, same kids, throw a blanket over them, you know, put all their names in a hat, draw them out in a different order. There's Rupert.
Well, and it's different things. So when you talked about tripling into the rollers, Everett could triple into the rollers if he went outside. Gray wasn't doing that, Townsend, right? He was going inside and then was just trying to double and be smooth all the way through. So some of those power moves that when it wasn't windy, he was able to do, you know, that was tough yesterday morning, but other than that, I think that's why you see some of that stuff, a little older, a little bigger kid, putting it down. So it was just all lines. I'm telling you, every one of those kids got in trouble this weekend. Everyone got talked to, everyone got sat down about what they did out there because the lines were so critical.
Yeah, they were.
And it was all the way across.
Did you get sat down? Did you get reprimanded for not taking good line selection?
sat him down, Gary.
Oh, you did?
No. He got sat down. He got sat down for seat bouncing every jump, going and sitting into it. All 250 pounds of him sitting into it.
Goes up 2 pounds every time.
Every time I bring him up, just sitting into
You
everything.
gained 20 pounds since Kuna?
No, he's 240 on the dot, 240.8. I weighed him before I bring him out. This is my prodigy, Gary. It's fucking going to shit.
By the finals at Rupert, and you're 300 pounds, it's going to be tough, Sam. It's going to be tough.
I don't think we have all of the races here, by the way.
We're just gonna go with what we have.
All right, bet.
Yeah, this is not scripted. Like, it's very against how Joe thinks this should go, but this is how we roll.
I'm gonna file a protest downstairs at the
Joe,
trailer.
a confused local.
You should bring your own results.
Oh, that's pushing it.
You should make
I'm
notes.
I'm just here to critique, not to do it, right? That's classic.
No
I'm just gonna
solutions.
stand by and complain.
That's our roots.
Yeah, like, you just described a Saturday at a dirt bike race.
That's right.
I'm just here to critique and complain.
Yeah, and offer
Okay.
solutions.
Let's move on.
All right. We got Open Am, the one moto format. Cam Horner winning it. Casey Clinton staying pretty close, second place. Connor Lords, third, 58 on the KTM. Gabe Niedenhauser, fourth. Jesse James, fifth. Jordan Batt, sixth. Parker Sampson, seventh.
There was chaos right behind
You see that?
Cam and Casey in the second moto, right? Because Hayden was in third, and then Hayden crashed, and I think he might have took Jesse with him or something like that.
Yeah,
And then
Hayden had a bad day yesterday. He just, right?
Yeah.
Things just didn't work out. There was a lot of going on the left hand or looking right.
yeah,
And
I saw him blow off the track a couple times after the rollers. Like he'd
Yeah.
go outside and it would get out, and he'd go
yeah,
off the track.
yeah, he let it rip on a couple of starts and ended up off the track. But
Okay.
you gotta appreciate the fact that he's willing
Just trying.
to send it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you asked me if every class is represented, right? The Loretta's, which is end all be all of amateur motocross. If 23 kids that we just rattled off right there, how many do you think have been to Loretta's out of that 23? Just throw out a number. I mean, just
If you could get 5, I think it'd be impressive. And
try
maybe-
7.
I might even go. I was gonna say I would go.
Try 7.
10.
Yeah.
Horner, Clinton, Lords, Niederhauser, I know have all been there.
Yep.
Jason Hammer has been there. Hayden Morgan has been there. And I saw one more as I was glazing over this, Gage Sager. 7 kids on that list of 23 have been to Loretta's and Open Am. Right? That's, if you're doing something in an Open Am at RMX, you're doing something. And yeah, there was always chaos and it's fun. And Parker Sampson, he's in the mix.
He's gone.
He can go fast. And did you guys anyone catch? He was doing some sweet no footers over the big table.
No.
Then he tried to mix it up and do a can, but he runs the Joe wing seat,
Yeah.
the wide guts wing seat, caught his foot, gave him a couple of tugs, made it back just in time.
Yeah,
No more no footers the rest of the day.
I don't think you can blame the wing seat for that, but
Maybe
it
being
certainly was
5'5".
scary. I think there was some gasps
There-
from the
The
ladies.
crowd was
in the
impressed.
crowd. It went from cheers and hooting and hollering to oh no.
That's when I stopped cheering him on. I just kind
Yeah,
of let him
that's
finish
right.
his race.
Yeah,
And
you got to give him the smooth. No more.
I think there is smooth in Parker's program.
There was. It
He's
was.
awesome.
It was fine. He was just a one-trick pony with no footers, and we demanded more.
yeah, we
And
just
we got a Bosch can, was almost really bad. Or knack or something. I don't know.
it was.
I don't really know.
He started with the super long, the longest no footer you ever seen in your life, to a triple no footer, and then went for the can. That's when we all just kind of stepped back, we're quiet, stopped cheering for him, let him finish his race safely,
That's the truth.
and yeah, it was awesome. It was exciting.
That's the truth.
Open Am, a little bit of everything.
Yes.
How long was that moto? Do you know? Did you end up at 20 minutes, 18
No,
minutes?
we ended up at 10 laps.
laps, okay.
You know, we went off the laps, you know, and this is a little bit shorter lap time, so you probably landed around 17 minutes. Yep, yeah, that's.
Are you,
And Rupert's gonna be the same way, right? Because Rupert is the shortest lap time of the year, so we'll, you know, try to get that around 12 laps or so and drive it up. But at a certain point, you get dizzy if you do like 18 laps at Rupert.
Well, and I guess, that's, as you just said it, you got all these kids going to Loretta's. Maybe that's something you got to make room for in the program, right? They got to go ride at 20. Those Open Am riders, some of those B riders, right? I mean, Cam's got to do it. Other ones got to do it. I thought that class was Loretta's prep, when I first started riding here, right? I thought that was the point. That was your class, right? You were either pro or you were Loretta's prep on a big bike and open. And so maybe that's something as you get a little closer, you got to get. Because I think some of them need a little more stamina,
For sure.
I think
Well,
some people need they need to keep their lap times more consistent. You can't have them fade. And I know it's hard because the people at the back maybe drop off their lap times a little more, but I don't know what else the solution is, because these kids are going.
If you think about it, and it is a Loretta's prep, and we try to get to the 20 minutes. But springtime, first couple rounds of the year, we're dealing with short daylight because of mesquite, right? And then we get up north, and we're at Delta and Tooele and Kuna, and it's cold, so we don't start till 8 o'clock. You can kind of see it. We get more daylight. We start at 7 a.m. and that turns into a 20-minute moto. And as soon as you see our start time go from an 8 o'clock start to a 7:30 or a 7, that's when you see the Open AM and the one moto format stuff go to a true 20 instead of 10 or 12 laps, because that extra 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there makes a big difference. And that's when you can expect to see it from us.
Sure.
Is a 7 o'clock start, probably a 7:30 start at Rupert, a little bit longer moto, and a 7 o'clock start at Delta, and you better be ready for your 20. So there's your warning. If you're an Open AM rider, if you're an Open Pro rider, start your training. Try to drop from the 285.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, try to get down from 285 down to like 265. Give yourself a chance to do a full 20.
Less cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Well, except if you're at Delta, you got to go to Ashton's.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a must.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah.
Great food.
Yep. So, but no, that is it. I mean, we've been doing laps, and the goal would be to get to true 20-minute motos for Open Pro, Open Am, Amateur All-Star on Sunday. So it's coming. It's coming.
20 minutes for everyone.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
For Open Pro
And All-Star.
and All-Star.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So that's that. You can't hide in the plus 20 class for that one.
I won't.
Okay.
I'll be there, unfortunately.
Okay. Cool.
All right, 50 All-Stars. Jackson Shoemaker, 3-2. Ryden Morgan, 2-2. Hudson Budd, 4-3. Nico Chavez, 7-4 for fourth. Chance Sharon, 6-6 for fifth. And then here we got Sawyer Geek. He went 1 DNS for 12th.
I know the one DNS is the long drive back to Wyoming. Dave said they were riding first motos, appreciated the good track conditions, the long moto, and was going to hit the road. So that was that one. But the group of kids, they're just getting faster and faster. You know, if you saw the race order, we had 50 All-Star and 50 beginner as a stagger start, and then the numbers made it to where we couldn't. There was 13 kids in All-Star, 22, 23 in beginner. Like, we just needed to split it up. We needed to make it better. And we did. And so it worked out for those guys. I do want to point out something. I want to see something where he finished. There is Sloan Mofford. For you guys that have been around the Utah moto scene, you have Nick Mofford that raced with us forever, or raced in this area forever. And, you know, stepped away a little bit, ran his business, got it going strong, and now he's bringing his kids back to the races. And I thought it was super cool. Sloan won 50 beginner on Saturday, and Nick's not the type of guy that's like, okay, we're going after 2 trophies. No, we're going after more speed. So they went from 50 beginner on Saturday, and I saw the social media post of a moto win, and they were down in staging, and was like, move us up to All-Star. We're racing dirt bikes. So
Heck yeah.
props to Nick Mofford and the crew, that whole camp. Sloan went 10-11. Like, I mean, first time out of 14 kids, have 10 in 50cc All-Star, with 4 or 5 kids that have been to Loretta's. Like, I thought that was cool. So there's a moto dad doing the right thing, not collecting trophies, building speed. Thought that was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We got Schoolway 1. Connor Lords, 1-1. Braxton Morgan, 2-2. Cohen Jackman, 4-3. Phoenix Silvez, 5-7 for 4th overall. Braden Davis, 9-4 for 5th overall.
That's just cool. Like, Schoolboy won 125s, a couple super minis in there, but it's just a good group. And there's Connor. That you line them all up on equal bikes, Connor's right there, right? When he has to chase those 250Fs a little bit, it's tough. But right there, Schoolboy won, Connor going 1-1, shaking out the consistency stuff. That's cool. It's a good ride for him.
Did anybody see him upside down right before the finish?
Yep.
Yeah. He did the full karate kick.
Yeah.
Because his bike was on the handlebars and on the rear fender, just sitting there, and he just gave it the boot.
I think even 2 laps after that, he went down in the corner right before that small double.
Yeah.
He tucked it there, and still freaking came out with a 1-1, huh?
And I don't know if it was that class, but he definitely had his fair share of challenges.
Yeah, yeah. 450 Pro, we got Riley Bruff, 1-1. Gray Davenport, 3-2. Boston Boots, 4-3. McCoy Bruff, 5-4. Kyler Brayback, 7-5, 5th overall.
Same as Open Pro. Next. Don't let these two start pro racing anymore.
Okay.
Like, just if you come across another one, just send it.
Okay, gotcha.
Sure, you don't want to talk about Coy's inconsistencies or?
Oh, I'll talk
starts
Coy's
or inconsistencies.
Let's, no.
I mean, we don't ever gonna get one pro tip. I mean, we don't get to listen to Riley tell us the one, like there was a secret, right? Because he was doing something. We gonna talk about it all? No.
Okay, what is, you can ask one question, Joe.
One question.
What is
Okay.
your question?
Okay, so you already said that you thought that the middle of the track mattered.
Yes.
But there was something that I saw, and I guess I'm curious to see what you say. All 3 of you guys, 4 of you guys, certainly Coy and you were doing something different today because the bottom of the ruts were hard. They were more bumpy, more challenging. So let's hear it. What was the one thing that you had to do, or a couple of things that added up to one thing?
That would be try to be light on the throttle and the brakes, but carry momentum. So, like the main goal would a perfect lap on a track like this, what you're saying, gets kind of hard, gets kind of bumpy, is to like never let off the gas. And I'm not saying hold it wide open the whole time, but keep the throttle cracked. It's not a land a jump, go wide open for as long as you can, and then brake, and then back on the gas. It's land the jump wide open, and then roll the throttle off, keep it cracked through the bumps, and then just try to keep it cracked through the turns. Just keep the bike rolling, because if you're on the gas, the suspension's doing what it's made to do. If you're on the brakes, it's binding up. And so that, finding the smooth lines, but when you can't find the smooth lines, just leave the gas on and just try to keep the momentum up.
Yeah, and I think anybody that listened heard that. I mean, you didn't hear it because you were out there, but the rest of us heard it, and it was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
It was definitely a Cowie national again. But yeah, that wasn't what I was going to say, but I believe that.
Well, what did you see?
I saw you guys stand
Hovering the seat.
longer.
Okay.
You hovered, you stood longer, because the pockets of the ruts were worse, and you stayed light. And then I saw as people got tired, that went away, and you went back to having to just sit and take the bumps.
Lose time.
So I think that Coy did what you said. He had a constant throttle all the way around, and I think that's why he had the best lap, of anybody today. Right? He was able to do that. So,
If you truly stand trackside and you watch a pro moto, and then you watch a 250 novice moto or a 450 novice moto, to be fair, it just sounds different, right? The lap times are drastically different, and the sound is drastically different. If you're new to the sport, you'd be like, man, that C-Class is moving. Can you hear them? And it's because they're like in first gear wide or second gear wide, and it's the opposite of what you're saying. It is kind of ride the bike in the meat of the throttle, smooth things out. It's not bottomless out there. There's some chop and smooth it all out.
yeah, shift up and let off to go faster.
Yeah, it's a different sound. Like you can hear the sound on a start. Have you ever noticed like an amateur start? It's just loud, like rat 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 all the way through, and a pro start, it almost goes quiet, like right as the 30 boards going sideways.
Concrete, yeah.
You just
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's just different. It's just a different sound. You could not watch the moto and listen and tell what class is out there. Like you can see it. So there's your one question, Joe.
Okay.
All right, that's it. 85 All-Star, Everett Clark again, 1-1. Gray Townsend, 2-2. Trinity Bachelor, 3-3. Cohen Jackman, 4-4. Davis Daniels, 5-5. Luke Daniels, 6-6. Camden Iker 8-7, so super consistent.
That's the same kids up front, with the exception of Luke and Davis. We've been rattling off some names, right? And we know Luke and Davis belong up there, which is cool. But how about Camden Iker on an 85?
Yeah,
Is that his best finish of the year on an 85?
it's gotta be close.
I mean, we know he's a front runner in 65s, but 8th overall, 85 All-Star?
Camden Iker,
Yeah.
7th overall,
7th.
8-7 for 7.
Dude, he has to be pumped. That's a
Killer.
good. I mean, he's.
Yeah.
Out of 33, 34 guys,
Yeah.
that's killer.
Yeah. That's. I mean, this is his first year on an 85. Probably race number 6 or 7 for him. So, you have 30 dudes, 35 dudes, whatever it is, in 85s, and you have that list. I mean, we expect those names up front, but to have 2 brothers in Luke and Davis, and then Camden, that's cool. Like, there's more 85 speed coming. Have you watched the middle of that pack? Like,
Yeah.
you get caught up watching the front of it. Watch, if you want to see some good racing, watch 10 through 20. They're gonna win motos at other race series.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna win motos.
And I think you see that even with like this big jump that you have, just the table, right? That's here. When you see the kids all through the middle jumping that, I think that's a good sign of that. That's just confidence and carrying speed and doing all those things. So
Yeah, like I'm just rolling through here looking 10 through 20. Yeah, they're hucking the big table.
yeah,
That's
and
a
that's
big
an
table.
accomplishment for those kids, right? That's a big deal. That's those separators, the kids that do it, the kids that can. And
On that small bike, probably looks like a 100-foot wall.
Yeah.
Coming up
Going
to
up to it.
That's intense.
Yeah, I mean, weight to horsepower, that's right there with your 305 and a 450.
Right.
He runs a 140 wide.
IRC M5B.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Scrapes the swing
Yeah,
on
it
it.
does. He has to trim the knobs. To get the tire knife out.
Joe runs wing seats, he runs wing tires.
He doesn't even sink in the ruts. He's just on top, like he's just midway down.
I've seen your marks out there.
Yeah.
Grooming at nights, now that makes a whole lot more sense.
It's like a fat cat.
Yeah.
TW200 big wheel.
We got 250C, the 16 plus moto. Jordan Batt 1-1. Daxton Jones 2-2. Gabe Tilton 3-4. Jaden Baldwin 5-3. Brandon Height 4-6. So they're all kind of mixed up pretty close.
That's, just right back to the whole, 250C. It's what it's there for. Like, it's letting kids develop some speed, and Jordan Batt is going fast.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I looked up once and thought that someone was a lap down, but he had checked out on that class. Like, he's going fast.
He's going really fast.
Yeah, lives, not too far from here. And there again, people say, oh, home track. No, this place isn't open all the time. This isn't a home track advantage. He's going fast everywhere. And that's a good moto win for him to go 1-1. That's cool. And that's just a good group of riders.
We got 65 All-Star. Camden Iker 2-1. Cash Bollinger 3-3. Nixon Greenhaw 5-4. Logan Mower 4-5. Max Daniels 10-2 with a 5 overall.
So there's another Daniels in 5th.
He's got a
Lo-
broken wrist too, or
Yep.
at least something. He had a brace on or
Yeah.
a cast on all weekend.
Well,
So
the crash at Kuna
Yeah.
when he hit Iker's bike, he fractured his wrist, so he is riding with that. But Maurer, Daniels 4-5, in that 4-5 spot. We talked about Nixon, a 3. Like, that's cool. Like, I like that for Nixon. That is really cool. And Iker, Bollinger, you expect to see them up there. That 65 class is going to be fun to watch all year. So I think as a whole, like, the racing was different here. The concrete start was different. The track's a little, just different from what we see. But I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I thought it was awesome. Great.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you to Tooele County, Stedman's Recreation, Dave Stedman, Russ, Bruce. I know is retired, but like that group just helping us make this happen. I was pumped on this place.
It's better every time I come.
Yeah, it really is. It's getting better every time the tractor hits that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good weekend. We have 2 weeks off, and we're at Rupert. I think
Which is an awesome
Yeah,
race.
you know
Super
what?
fun, close to the river, a lot of
Yep.
stuff to do.
Yep.
Good time.
If you want to swim, go to the river, not the canal. The canal company does not like us swimming
No,
in the
you
canal.
can go to the Snake River, 5 minutes from the track, go
Yeah.
to a boat ramp, swim, it's super fun, clean, somewhat clean, pretty clean. Clean
It's
enough to
gotta be-
shower in.
It's got to be cleaner than the canal.
Oh, for sure, don't go to the canal. That's
Yeah.
just, don't do that.
Yeah. You don't go to the canal because it's gross. We don't want you to go to the canal because the canal company calls us. So there's
Exactly.
all kinds of reasons we shouldn't swim in the canal.
Yeah, especially when the Snake River's right around the corner and it's
Yeah.
super accessible. You could drive any van, truck, anything, right down there to the boat ramp, go swim, walk right back into your van without getting muddy feet, and
Yeah.
consider it a shower.
You can drive anything licensed. Like,
Yes.
You're
Yes.
just getting there. We're trying to keep the peace with the community. So
Yes.
bar and RMX work well together, but we definitely have different ideas.
Yes.
So we would like you to drive a licensed vehicle to the boat ramp.
Yep.
Bar would just like you to get there. Like, just get there. We don't care how. Just get there.
Swim.
Right.
You can hop in upriver, float down, we'll be there, we'll pull you in.
Yeah. This is why we work well together. Yeah. Yeah. We like pit bikes for transportation. You just like pit bikes.
No dust.
Yeah.
No dust.
We're learning.
I pushed them around. There was too much dust. I was putting the water bottle down when I was trying to load up. There was too much dust.
Come a long way since the first time we met.
Scared the crap out of me, Gary. I've never felt worse in my life. You're like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. It's the worst thing you could have said. That's right.
No, that was fun. What do you got to add, Chase?
Gosh, RMX is awesome. Super consistent. You know what you're getting. Super fun. They can make any track awesome. Yeah, just show up. They got 4 classes for everybody. So pick and choose what you want to do. And
Yeah.
it's a good time, man. It's awesome people, friendly people. It's not your typical, stereotypical, moto scene. It's just fun. Good people.
No, thank you, Broke Amateur Racing, Garrett, Sam, Chase. Joe, thank you for the insight, asking some questions, and we'll see everyone in Rupert in 2 weeks.
Okay, that sounds good.